Let me ask you something. You make custom parts, or you're a staffing firm, or maybe you sell IT services, or you're a regional logistics company. You've never, not once, described yourself as a defense contractor. And yet, the Department of War needs what you do. They need it badly. And right now, there's a golden ticket sitting on the table that most non-traditional businesses are completely ignoring. It's called CMMC, which stands for the Cybersecurity Maturity Model Certification. And in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to tell you exactly why getting it is one of the best business development moves you can make in 2026. Not just for landing DoW work, for winning any sophisticated contract. This is Rick from Move America. You're listening to the Pathways to Partnership podcast, and this is another episode of Mission Ready in 10. Let's go.
Welcome to Pathways to Partnership, the podcast powered by Move America. Here, we explore the intersection of industry, government, and academia, where collaboration sparks innovation and strengthens our nation's defense industrial base. Each episode will bring you thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and real-world success stories that showcase the pathways to building a stronger, more innovative defense industry.
Here's a thing that happens constantly. A small business owner hears CMMC and immediately thinks, that's for Lockheed Martin, that's for Raytheon, that's for the big primes with their army of compliance lawyers. Wrong. Beautifully, wonderfully, business opportunity, wrong. The DoW estimates that more than 118,000 companies are going to need CMMC certification, and the vast majority of those aren't Raytheon. They're machine shops making precision components, tire companies supplying wheels for armored vehicles, IT firms, staffing companies, logistics providers. If your business touches federal contract information, or what the government calls CUI, which is classified uncontrolled information, then CMMC applies to you. Now, CMMC 2.0 has 3 levels. Level 1 covers basic cybersecurity hygiene. It's 15 practices and it's a self-assessment. Think of it as the I lock my front door level. Level 2 is the more robust tier. That's 110 security controls based on NIST 800-171. If you don't know what that is, Google it. And it typically requires a third-party assessor called a C3PAO to verify you. That is not a droid from Star Wars, by the way. Level 3 is for the most sensitive classified work. And honestly, if you'd be working at Level 3, you'd already know. For most non-traditional businesses entering the defense industrial base, Level 1 or Level 2 is your lane. And here's the big news. As of November 2025, CMMC requirements are now actively appearing in DoW contracts. By October 2026, every new DoW contract involving federal contract information will require it. This is not a drill. This is not coming soon. This is now, like now. So if you've been waiting to figure out whether CMMC is for you, let me give you a spoiler alert. It is. The question is whether you get there first or you watch someone else take your spot in the supply chain. All right, let's go ahead and demystify this thing because nothing kills momentum like alphabet soup and acronym overload. CMMC, as I said before, stands for the Cybersecurity Maturity Model Certification. This whole program exists because the DoW spent years watching sensitive technical data walk right out the door through unsecured contractor networks. Designs for a jet engine, specs for a next-gen weapon system, gone. So they built a certification framework to verify not just did you check a box, but do you actually have controls in place to protect this information. Here's the roadmap for Level 2, which is where most non-traditional companies with real DoW ambitions are headed. First, you need to figure out if you handle CUI. That's controlled unclassified information, technical drawings, part specs, shipping manifests for sensitive programs. If you do, Level 2 definitely applies. Second, you need to do a gap assessment against the 110 controls in NIST 800-171 Revision 2. Think of it as your pre-season film review. Where are the plot holes, or really the holes in your plan or network? Third, you need to build your system security plan, known as an SSP. This is your cybersecurity playbook, what you have, what you do, and how you protect it. Fourth, you need to fix the gaps. Multi-factor authentication, access controls, encryption, incident response, the works. This phase takes most businesses 6 to 12 months. Fifth, you need to engage a certified third-party assessment organization. That's the C3PAO, that is not a droid from Star Wars. They will conduct your formal assessment, and those assessments run roughly $50,000 and up, depending on your company size. Now, I know that sounds like a lot. Take a breath. We'll revisit that in a minute when we talk about what that investment actually buys you. Sixth, you need to pass. You need to get that certification. You log it into the DoW Supplier Performance Risk System, which is known as SPRS, and you're officially in the game. And then seventh, you stay certified. It's an annual affirmation, ongoing compliance. This isn't a trophy you put on the shelf and admire forever. It's a living, breathing security posture, and it needs to be constantly reaffirmed and updated. Now, here's a pro tip. If your company has a mix of government and commercial work, you may not need to certify your entire enterprise. You can build what's called an enclave. That's a separate, hardened environment just for your CUI work, and only certify that piece. It keeps your costs down and your scope manageable. Smaller box, but same gold star. Now, here's where I want to tell you about a company called Campy Components, because sometimes the best way to make a concept real is to show you a real company living it. Campy Components is a small precision manufacturer in the defense supply chain. They're the kind of company CMMC was absolutely built for. Skilled at what they do, embedded in the industrial base, but not a household name. They make things, for real programs. One day, the Defense Contract Management Agency, DCMA, because we need more acronyms in this world, shows up for what's called a DIBCAC high assessment, an unannounced audit of their cybersecurity compliance. Not a friendly, hey, how are things going visit, a real audit. And like a lot of small manufacturers, they had gaps. Now, here's what makes the story different from a cautionary tale. Campy didn't panic and they didn't fold. They partnered with someone to go after their cybersecurity, identify and close all those gaps, systematically, methodically, with urgency, but with discipline. The result? Campy Components achieved CMMC Level 2 certification with a perfect score, 110 out of 110 for those controls. And think about what that means in a competitive bid. When a prime contractor is building their supply chain for a new DoW program, they're evaluating risk at every link. And Campy walks in the door with a perfect CMMC score. That's not just a certification, that's a statement. That's swagger. That's a company that can be trusted with sensitive technical data. That's a company a prime wants in their supply chain because their risk exposure just went as close to zero as they could get it. Campy's story also illustrates something really crucial. The companies that got ready early, that didn't wait for the government to mandate them or bite them in the butt, are now positioned as preferred partners. They're not scrambling, they're selecting. That is the posture you want. Not chasing contracts, attracting them. Okay, here's where I need you to shift your mindset, because most people think about CMMC purely as a compliance cost. And yes, there is a cost, but that framing is completely backwards. Let me reframe it for you. CMMC certification is a business development tool, full stop. Number one, it opens doors that are literally closed to your non-certified competitors. The DoW's phased rollout means that by late 2026, if you're not certified, you simply can't bid. You're not losing the game, you're not even in the arena. The certified company down the street, they're picking up contracts by default because the field just thinned out. Number two, prime contractors are actively building certified supply chains right now. Today, they're not waiting for the mandate. They're building their preferred vendor lists, and they want certified subs. I've heard it described this way. The primes don't want to lose their business. They want to be able to continue delivering to the DoW, and they need their supply chain certified to do it. If you get certified, you end up on those lists. Number three, and this one surprises people, CMMC certification actually strengthens your commercial sales pitch. If you're going after Fortune 500 commercial contracts, sophisticated procurement officers are increasingly asking about your cybersecurity posture. A CMMC Level 2 cert is hard proof that you take data security seriously. It's a differentiator in markets that have nothing to do with the Pentagon. Number four, as smaller non-compliant competitors exit the defense industrial base, because they will, certified businesses see a material increase in prime contractor interest. The pool shrinks, your share grows. You didn't have to outmarket anyone, you just showed up certified. And number 5, early movers set the price. When CMMC was scarce, when only a handful of companies in your niche had it, they could command premium contract pricing. That window is closing, but it's still open for now. If you get certified in 2026, you are still early in your vertical. Don't leave that leverage on the table. So let's get back to those numbers. You spend $50,000 on a certification, but that certification just made you the only certified precision machinist within a 50-mile radius of a major DOW installation. Think about what that contract is worth. Go ahead, do the math. I'll wait. All right, since this is Mission Ready in 10 and not Mission Ready in 18, let's bring it home. Here's your takeaway from today, and I want you to write this down if you're the kind of person who still writes things down, which frankly I respect. CMMC is not a compliance burden. CMMC is an invitation. It's the defense industrial base saying, we need more partners. We need non-traditional businesses. We need your expertise, but you have to demonstrate you can protect what we share with you. The barrier is real, but it's crossable. The cost is real, but it's recoverable many times over, even with just a single contract win. And the competitive advantage is real right now, today, because most of your competitors haven't even thought about this yet. Campy Components got a perfect score under pressure. Your company doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be ready. And ready starts with a single gap assessment. You know, Move America actually exists for this moment. If you're a non-traditional business that wants to understand your CMMC pathway, if you want to connect with those RPOs, C3PAOs, and a community of organizations that are doing this right now, we are your on-ramp. All you need to do is visit our website, moveamerica.org, or reach out to us. Send an email to communications@moveamerica.org. We'll connect you with our experts who will get you on the path. This has been Rick from Move America on Pathways to Partnership Mission Ready in 10. You've been ready longer than you think. Now go prove it.
This podcast is for informational purposes only and does not constitute legal, financial, or professional advice. The views expressed by the host and guests are their own and do not necessarily represent the views or positions of Move America or its affiliates. Always consult with a qualified professional for advice specific to your circumstances. For more information about Move America and our mission to strengthen the defense industrial base through innovation and collaboration, visit us at www.moveamerica.org. Thank you for tuning in to Pathways to Partnership, powered by Move America. Until next time, stay inspired, stay innovative, and we'll speak with you soon.